Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to run through a webinar on bringing contact centers to the cloud with BYOC. I'm Brian Lammers. I'm the Senior Sales Support Manager with PowerNet. On the call today, we also have Chip Sharpe, who's our Senior Manager of Customer Experience Solutions. Chip really knows the Genesys platform front and back, and the customer experience cloud-based software they provide. And then we can both talk to the PowerNet voice carrier side, which would handle all the voice traffic on this particular bundle. So I'll introduce Chip a little more as we go forward here. Just for some of the folks who may not know PowerNet that well, we started in '92 as a switchless reseller of long distance, evolved into targeting SMB and enterprise with voice and data solutions, and now really in 2019 are a complete technology solution from call center software to managed services to voice, data, Wi-Fi, really any application from a technology standpoint in an enterprise or SMB environment is something we can typically address for a client. So privately held, we've got actually 2 US-based NOCs, one here in Cincinnati and one in Florida, and about 125 employees. A nice bulk of those employees are engineers. So really from a channel standpoint, when you have an opportunity like a large contact center or a large Wi-Fi deployment, we really, allow you to lean on us to dissect that opportunity and let our engineers put something together so you don't have to be, you're really on the contact side and the sales side, and you can kind of let us handle the engineering side. So that's one of the things we provide to the channel is a very strong engineering department, so we can, again, take these opportunities and work with you and the client to get their vision realized. So this is the Strategic Alliances team. We have it broken out geographically. So if you're east of the Mississippi, you're going to work with Chris Raponi, who is on this call. Midwest, North Midwest will be Dan Firehammer. And then Tyler English handles Colorado and those southern states, as well as the position open channel sales there at this point. So that's kind of those are your contacts. You probably know those guys already, but if you don't, they're here, and we'll have their contact information at the end of the presentation as well. So when you have a call center or contact center opportunity, you can work through them, and they'll get the appropriate people at PowerNet involved. Of course, Penny Thurnow is our VP of Strategic Alliances. She heads up this team here represented on the map. Jill Warren is also in a leadership position here at PowerNet and handles service provisioning teams, NOC teams. And then Chris Gaccio actually heads up all of our engineering teams for us. So this is really the team you have behind you. We want you, again, to lean on us to help you work through these opportunities, and just know that we're willing to jump on calls whenever and wherever we're needed. Oops. Just again, if you're not that familiar with PowerNet, or if it's been a little while, across the top here, we really show kind of the breadth of services we can provide. One of the great things, one of the really values we can provide to an end user client is it's all on one invoice. It's one number to call, so problems or questions or changes with any one of their services, it's all one number, one contact center, one account manager. It makes it very clean, very easy, and simple for the client, and again, one invoice to reconcile and to work with. So we just try and make the technology available across the board for our clients, and really help you build your residual income by selling more services within each client. There at the bottom is just kind of where we've seen a lot of our growth in the last 5 years as far as vertical markets. So contact centers is obviously a big one for us, multi-dwelling units, another one, senior living and those types of facilities, and education and healthcare. So just a quick snapshot of what we do, what we can do for your clients, and where we can do it as far as the types of customers. Now I will introduce Chip to get us going on the Genesys Purecloud platform. Chip is essentially our subject matter expert when it comes to everything Genesys Purecloud. Been on numerous calls with Chip and clients as we're scoping through projects and things like that. So he's very knowledgeable in the ins and outs and where we can really separate ourselves from other competitors on a call center software platform basis. So I'll just let Chip take it from here, and thank you, Chip.
Thanks, Brian. As Brian said, yes, my name is Chip Sharpe, and I am the Senior Manager of Customer Experience Solutions. So it may not be readily obvious when we start talking about customer experience what that is. You may see it abbreviated as CX, but that doesn't really give us any more insight as to what that really means. Customer experience is really your outward-facing presence to your customers. When customers come to you, whether it's in a sales capacity or a service capacity, the experience that you provide and the experience that they receive working with you all kind of ties together as their customer experience. And what we've found more and more in the industry is that we have to start meeting customers where they're at. Gone are the days where we can just have an 800 number and you can call in and talk to somebody, and then we'll transfer you to the other person that maybe can help you better. And then, maybe after a while that you'll get your problem solved. The market has shown and proven itself to be far less tolerant of that model of service. So while we don't have to provide these large ornate experiences and that really wow and dazzle customers, and we'll show some numbers that kind of inform why that is. Even though we don't have to go that far, we still have to be able to solve the customer's problem and like I said, meet them where they're at. So par can be plenty good enough to win, but we have to at least do the thing that we promise. So some of the challenges that are facing contact centers these days are like I said, move beyond simple speed of answer and staffing and things like that. It's really a reaction to market forces. So one of the biggest things that is a challenge for the modern day contact center is just the velocity of change. So it seems like every day there's some new social media platform or some new communication method that people are adopting in wide use. And just as sure as it comes to life and comes to adoption, somebody's going to want to use that to get customer service from someone else. The joke that I tell people that are kind of wading into this for the first time is that if you could communicate through a lawn chair, somebody would find a way to complain about their Comcast service with it. So that sort of rapid change, we have to be able to quickly pivot and adopt new technologies and new platforms to, again, meet customers where they are. Along with that, though, we also have to do a balancing act between the priorities of customer service and the priorities of technology adoption and budgets. If there's no money in it and your contact center is nothing but a black hole of dollars, then obviously it's not serving your purpose. So there is a balancing act, and one of the ways that contact centers are meeting that challenge is by adopting platforms that not only do more, but also have positioned themselves for long-term expansion and growth. So the final challenge that we've seen most often is just wildly evolving customer expectations. Customers really want what they want when they want it, and they don't want to wait around for it. They accept the idea that they're going to have issues at some point. What they aren't accepting is that companies didn't know that something was going to be an issue and have no response or no capability to solve it. So, and really what we see is it's the younger generation that is the driving force for a lot of changes in the customer experience marketplace. So we see some of the numbers down here. 81% are less about friendly service and more about fast service. They just want you to get in and get the problem taken care of so that they can move on to whatever comes next. 80% are using multiple channels, meaning chat, text, email, various social media platforms such as Twitter or Facebook, WhatsApp. So they're coming to us from a number of different avenues. 72% expect a seamless cross-channel experience, meaning that they want to be able to move from a web chat to a phone call without having to start back at zero and explain their problem to somebody for the first time again. 64% of customers say that the customer experience is more important to them than the price of whatever it is that you're selling. But interestingly enough, only 67% of customers say that they'd be willing to pay more to get a better customer experience. So the interesting juxtaposition of those two numbers says that customers want a better customer experience, but they're not willing to absorb a huge cost to get it. They'd rather you just solve the problem. So the intent to what this tells us is that the intent to rebuy is the difference is only 3% between a standard what we would call a run-of-the-mill basic customer experience that simply solves the problem, and this, oh my goodness, holy cow, I'm so amazed, you completely knocked my socks off type of customer experience. So there's really not a lot of money in the large investment increase that has to be made to get to that, to that wow factor. Basically what the industry is telling us is just solve the problem. So with that, we come to PureCloud. So I think that PureCloud is really going to be the way to really get to where we want to go. I think that this is the product that checks most of the boxes for most contact centers. It's got the advantages of price and of capabilities, as well as active feature development, and really cross-channel capabilities. So this is the platform that we're talking about. It was developed by Genesys, and it was developed from the ground up. It didn't start out as something else and then evolve into a contact center platform. It was always targeted for this vertical, and this is the spot where they're staying. And they're really considered the industry leader in contact center capability platforms. So when we talk about what PureCloud is, as we've said, a web-based contact center platform. It has very simple pricing and has a true cloud-based architecture. There's no hardware on site that's required. It is built off of a microservices architecture that allows Genesys to expand and contract the computing power as needed by as the customer volume dictates. It is definitely a feature-rich solution that really goes across all the contact channels that are in use in the industry today. It has a very fast deployment cycle. We can usually get a contact center from zero to functioning on PureCloud within a matter of weeks, and not some super long runway of months and months of deployment efforts. It is based on the Amazon Web Services cloud, so all of the features and benefits and uptime of the AWS cloud are brought to bear on the PureCloud solution. And then finally, it is an all-in-one solution. There's not a lot of other add-ons and additional hardware or software applications that have to be installed or anything like that. It's all run from a single pane of glass through a web browser. So it really does give you that all-in-one capability. So going back to the beginning where we talked about taking your contact center to the cloud with BYOC, the next question becomes, what is BYOC? So BYOC is bring your own carrier, and that is our preferred deployment method for PureCloud. And what this does is it allows you to bring your own carrier solution to the PureCloud environment so that you can take advantage of existing contracts or existing rate locks and things that you might have already put in place. But it also allows you to take advantage of the cloud capabilities of your telco provider combined with the power of the Genesys platform. So with Genesys Purecloud, you can bring the SIP carrier of your choice into Purecloud with you. And of course, our preference is going to be for the PowerNet SIP carrier service. So what are the reasons that you would go with BYOC as opposed to just simply using Genesys' own voice built into their platform or something of that nature? The first one is flexibility. The scalability and reliability that you already experience with your telco provider doesn't change just because you move your contact center to the cloud. So you can easily add and remove lines without hassle or additional change costs or number porting or anything of that nature. You can adjust seats on demand as you need to. So if you're a company, for example, that maybe does a lot of work around the holidays, but then you go through a reduction in force once you get to the new year, you can expand up that user base on demand without having to place additional orders or licensing. And then when you go through your reduction of force after the holiday, your bill comes back down as your user count decreases. Additionally, you get new features on their rolling implementation cycle. So whenever something new is released into the product, a simple F5 refresh gets you to the latest and greatest version. There's no software upgrades or professional services that you have to rely on to perform updates to your system. It is, like we said before, it is a quick and easy implementation. We've got multiple deployment options for sure, but the BYOC option is by far our favorite. And then finally, it has optimized communication capabilities. We can do phone, chat, email, SMS messaging. We can do social media integration so that you can respond to Twitter ads and Facebook tags and things of that nature. So it really gives you an all-in-one location to be able to manage your entire customer experience. Another reason that we go with BYOC is because of its affordability. You can definitely see short-term cost savings by being able to retire your old contact center hardware. Anything from old phones to servers that you've had running for years upon years to run your contact center, those can all be retired, and you can recoup those maintenance costs and recoup that staff overhead because now you've got a platform that is easy to manage through a web browser and doesn't require all the labor of maintaining a farm of servers. Additionally, you can get long-term cost savings through choosing your own carrier and again bringing your own carrier negotiations into the Purecloud environment. So you can take advantage of rates that you've already locked in, or use it as an opportunity to potentially negotiate new rates that could lower your telephony costs. Additionally, competitor CX solutions often require pretty costly upgrades. There's some that require the manufacturer's own professional services to do any sort of upgrade or maintenance work, or any migrations. They make it almost prohibitive by making them so complicated and so involved that you sometimes find that it's easier and cheaper to just stay where you're at as opposed to making a much needed change. So there's definitely some affordability arguments to be made in the case of Purecloud and BYOC. And then finally is the portability. One of the great things about this being a cloud service is that you can access it from literally anywhere in the world. If you can get an internet connection, you can access Purecloud and use all of its tools and capabilities no matter where you are. There's no cumbersome access controls that you have to worry about that would change depending upon your location. Additionally, since there's no hardware in your environment to power it, you don't have to worry about going through network firewall gymnastics or VPNs or any of that kind of stuff to link sites together. Basically, if it's got an internet connection, it's all pointing to the same place. Additionally, your agents can no longer have to be tied to the cube. There are some contact centers where they have a shortage of staffing just because of the geographic region that they live in. Sometimes it's hard to get enough people to actually fill the seats. With a solution like Purecloud BYOC, you can have these agents spun up wherever they are. You can recruit nationwide now and have work from home agents and be able to monitor and manage them as if they were sitting right down the hall from you through the reporting and workforce management tools that are built into the platform. Additionally, you don't have to worry about deploying hard desk phones to remote locations either, because you can leverage the WebRTC technology to simply have them get their audio through their computer browser. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Brian and let Brian talk about why we want to bundle PowerNet SIP with PureCloud BYOC.
Great, thank you, Chip. So from a channel perspective, there's a few different things we can talk about on how PowerNet SIP bundled with Genesys can be a very strong play in the call center space and the contact center space. So first, for the clients, you're looking at a PowerNet voice network that has connections to all Tier 1 providers. So we can, and because of the tools we have on our voice network, we can turn clients up very quickly, doing things like adding toll-free numbers, updating routing, and all of those different things that can be cumbersome with other solutions. They're very, very positive in a customer experience standpoint with PowerNet. Also, because we're connected with all the Tier 1 providers, if we have regional or large outages on a particular carrier, really the client has no ill effects because we pick up those calls, we pick up those minutes with the routing to other providers. So it's not single carrier, and there's some redundancy there built in for the client from a peace of mind standpoint for them. As we've always done, we're always looking to help the customer with cost savings. So we've priced our PowerNet SIP on the Genesys platform below Genesys standard voice rates, so we can immediately save the client on all of their inbound and outbound calling. And so we have a rack program for that. It's very simple to install and put in. And then if you have a particularly large call center that is looking for more aggressive rates, we can certainly look at that opportunity and take a look at how we can help them. So a lot of flexibility there as well. From an add-on standpoint, of course, once a call center client is spun up with Genesys and PowerNet as the SIP carrier, they become a PowerNet customer. So all the rest of our suite of services, from managed security to Wi-Fi to really any other data circuits, any other product that we sell within that client then becomes part of your residual commission. So whether you're involved in that particular sale or not, that's the way we've always done things with the channel. And then from a visibility into the contact center, from the standpoint of diagnosing any problems, from making changes, updates, when PowerNet has the voice and the Genesys piece of it, we just have a lot better ability to really work with the client on changes, on fixing issues that they're having. So our 24/7 US-based NOC can quickly handle these things. Again, we've got folks who are certified on the Genesys platform. We've got our voice experts, so really the client can feel good about who they're partnering with going forward. One other piece of redundancy that we can throw in there is we can actually keep the Genesys voice platform underneath the PowerNet platform. So in case there is a 15-minute or 20-minute outage on the PowerNet voice network for some reason, the customer would, again, see no ill effects of that. They would automatically go to the Genesys platform to complete those calls that happen during that time frame. So more backup there for the client's peace of mind. And then one thing that PowerNet has always really brought to the table is a single invoice for all services. One support team, one number to call, folks who get answers quickly, get changes done quickly, get problems resolved quickly, and again, all those services bundled on one simple, easy to understand invoice. We can provide it all online if that's their preference, and really, just make things simple. So many clients are out there saying, I don't even know what I have here. with this vendor, and we've got 3 different vendors trying to cobble this solution together. With PowerNet, we can really take them under our wing, give them one single invoice, one support team, and really simplify things for them from that standpoint. And then this final bullet here really goes to the channel, and you folks who are on the call today. When you're selling into a call center opportunity, or when you have an existing call center that you're looking to migrate to the cloud and to the PowerNet voice solution, really the big benefit to putting PowerNet's voice network underneath the Genesys solution is that we will pay you on both the Genesys software licensing as well as all the traffic that flows over the voice network for this customer. So just as an example, if you as an end channel partner had a direct relationship with Genesys and you sold a Genesys solution to a call center, Genesys would pay you on the software licensing, but they would use their voice network, and they typically do not pay any residual commissions on that traffic. So when you come through PowerNet to deploy a Genesys Purecloud solution within a call center, we can actually, pay you on both the voice traffic and on the software licensing. So it's really a 2-in-1. It's kind of a unique thing in this space, and so we're very excited for the channel to go out to call centers with this opportunity, because as a channel rep, you don't want to leave money on the table, and certainly with this particular bundle, we can pay you again on both the software licensing and all of the voice traffic. Some ideal targets, obviously, call centers that are 25 plus seats. We're looking for a little bit on the higher side, but we can go down to the 20, 25 range. High volume as far as clients contacting them. Now that can be high volume on voice, that could be high volume on chat, whatever it is. But if they're handling a lot of different customer requests day in and day out, that's where the Genesys platform really shines. It really provides a level of efficiency on getting problems solved that's really unmatched. And then, so as their clients are contacting them, call center reps are quickly solving problems and moving on to the next one. So hold times are down, so customer experience is strong. They feel good about it. You guys all know it in the field, each time that a client contacts a call center, whether it be through a chat, whether it be via the phone, all of those interactions are little micro sales, and it really can affect how the end customer views that company that they have a business relationship with. So it's either when they reach out via chat or reach out via phone or reach out via email, how that response happens and the efficiency in which their problem is addressed can make a huge impact from a perception standpoint on how that end user views that company, and makes the likelihood to continue to do business with or expand their business with that company really has a huge impact there. So the call center targets really, call centers that are experiencing a lot of growth, the call traffic can be, growing at an exponential rate. It's very difficult to keep up with all the contacts. Well, that's where Genesys really is a strong play there, because as Chip said, we can scale up very quickly. It's a very simple update on the client side. We can handle that for them, and we just need to know how many users they need, and it's pretty much a same day update. So very scalable. Contact centers who maybe today have phone and email. So their end customers are contacting their call centers via phone or email, but they're looking at chat. They're interested in the social media aspect of it, or SMS texting. So if these call centers that you're working with are looking to expand the way that their clients can reach them, that is another strong fit for the Genesys Purecloud solution. And then this slide here is just kind of a kind of an initial questions when you're scoping out the deal, and this is really something that we can work with when you reach out to one of our channel teams. So if you can get some or all of these questions answered, it really helps us to get a good view of what the opportunity looks like. And then this type of stuff is really all we're looking for from you, is a little bit of this initial information and the introduction. At that point, we'll get your channel manager, either Dan or Tyler or Chris, involved, have that initial conversation, and either on that call or the subsequent call, we can get Chip and his team involved to really talk about how this solution would work for the client and make sure it's a good fit. We're always interested in making sure that we're a good fit, because it's not 100% of the time, and we don't want to waste anybody's time. So if it's not, we obviously want to cut them loose as quickly as possible. But a lot of cases, we can certainly help with the Genesys platform combined with PowerNet voice solutions. So again, these are just some initial questions to have with the client, and then just get us involved, and we'll get on the conference call with you. We'll tell the PowerNet story, why we're different, why we, really raise the bar as far as a customer experience, as far as a post-sales support, the design of these solutions, and help them talk through what their vision is for their call center moving forward.